Hey everybody, what's up? This is Baka here again with a new video on my scoreboard overlay. I just want to give a little bit of an update on what I've been working on recently to make add additional features to the scoreboard and our overlays for Texas Showdown that we'll be at the end of this month. I've been able to integrate some additional metadata for the players, so when we do the versus head-to-head scenes, we're going to have a little more information. And I also got a question on YouTube about how to actually even run this if they want to run it. Well, first you have to clone my repo that I leave the link in the descriptions, and then let me show you how I can actually start the server and then run the web application. Now when you first clone the server, you're gonna get this directory of stream overlay directory that you see here. You just want to go into scoreboard dash, and pyserver.bat is what you want to click on, and it'll automatically start the server for you. I'm assuming you're in Windows. If you're not in Windows, you're in Linux or Mac or something, you do need to have Python 3 installed. I think you also need it for Windows, but you have to install Python 3, and you'll go to a console in Mac. You can do it in Windows as well, but I made the bat for easier for in Windows. You can just type in Python and then pyserver.py, and it will start the server. So I'm going to show you how I started here. I'm going to click here. Now, when you first run it, it's going to download a bunch of dependencies that you probably don't have installed. And you have to wait for it to be done. Once it's done, it's going to come to a screen like this, and it's going to show you your own IP plus a link here. Now, what you want to do is just navigate to that on your web browser. As you can see in the web browser here, you can just copy in exactly what that is, navigate there, and then you're going to have the dashboard in front of you. Now, what I want to show today is actually about the new stats that I incorporated. Now, what I did was I went to this website called bracket.com with 2 A's. And what you can do is set up your own leagues in here. I set up a couple of leagues, one for 2X, one for CVS2 for Texas Showdown. And how it works is that you set up a league and then you can add tournaments to the league. So what I did was add all the previous Texas Showdown tournaments for 2X. In here I added 7 tournaments, as you can see here. And then what it does is automatically looks at the history of the tournaments, and then it's going to rank the players depending on their results and give what I added was ELO scores to them. I don't know, these are kind of meaningless, but they're kind of cool to look at. And what's also cool is they'll have head-to-head history on players of the past tournaments. Gonna look at the tournaments real fast. You can see I added all the Texas Showdowns, previous ones. I know there were some years that we didn't have them. I added it back to 2017. So I took all these tournament information, then I distilled it down to a league ranking. In the league ranking, you see Hokuto's number 1, Civato number 2, and it has a whole bunch of information here. You can sort it from even more people if you want. Everybody who's participated in the history of these tournaments, kind of cool. And what I did was you can export it into a CSV file. So I did that, as well as the league head-to-head information, which you can see. You can have match histories. For example, Hokuto and Civato fought twice, and each one of them won 1 game. And Hokuto has beaten Ito twice at 2 Texas Showdowns. So when they're playing against each other again, you have that information that can show up on the screen. Just give a little bit of extra history between the 2 players at the Texas Showdown tournaments. Again, I'll download it into another CSV file, and let me show you where I put them. In my stream overlay directory, I have a data folder, and I put a league folder in here. As you can see, I named them Texas Showdown 2X and CVS2. In here are the CSV files that I put in here, and they have all the information I just showed you on the website. Now, how do we utilize that? Go back to the dashboard. What I have here is in the right side, I consolidated a lot of the buttons here. You can go into here, right here, select League for Stats. It's going to look in that directory I just showed you, and it shows me the 2 available. So I'm going to select 2X. Now what it's done is loaded. Well, actually, the capture is not capturing the drop downs. I'm sorry, but yeah. I've loaded the information from the CSV files. I'm going to grab the players real fast. I also consolidated the left side screen, so everything's in here now for fetching from StartGG. They're the tournaments. I'm just gonna grab one from 2024 Super Turbo Tournament. I'm gonna get all the players. And now I have a drop down. I'm gonna pick the players that I want to see. Let me pick Enforcer. And who's somebody else that's typically here? I just pick Ito again. I'm gonna go to the next round. And what happens now is that it's gonna look into the history of the CSV files, the rankings, and also on top of that, it's gonna look into the current tournament and look at their seeding. And if their seed is 8 or above, I decided to actually add that additional information as well, so that we can see. I have another scene here. If you look, it's gonna populate their rank, their points, their win-loss ratio. So apparently Ito has fought Enforcer once in previous Texas Showdowns, and he won that game. And also their seeds for the 2024 Texas Showdown tournament. And Ito was seeded 3 and Enforcer was seeded 6. So that's interesting. So this is additional metadata that I'm hopefully gonna utilize for our versus screens, just so we have some additional fun information for people to see. And just for completion's sake, I'm not sure if people really care, but I can show you the code that actually operates this. I added some additional code into my server code for reading the ranking data CSV files. It's going to look in the directory, parse them into maps. What happens is we're going to request with 2 names, player 1, player 2, and it's going to look into the maps to see if there's any information on them. It's going to grab them and throw it back to the server, back into the front end, and then we can show them, pop them up on the screen. And that's mostly it. That's most of the new stuff that I've added. I want to show you, I guess, if you want to know how to actually make the front end stuff work, I just made an example, for example, in this test screen. But you have to just write something in web, then communicate with the server itself to get the information. Now, I have some examples in the repo itself. For example, if you look at the commentator overlay, so this is an example of it communicating with the server itself. What it does is all these overlays, they're looking in this config folder. You do have to set up your IP of your server here. This is the only manual thing that I have to do, which is unfortunate. I wish it was all automated, but it's not. The Scoreboard main one that we use is the Scoreboard overlays. So Scoreboard HTML file, if you throw that as a source into your OBS, it's going to communicate with the server and it's going to show you exactly what's on the dashboard that you see here. If you enter names and scores and stuff, then it will be reflected into that Scoreboard UI front-end web source, and it will show you the scores. That's how we update all our scores right now. We're using this UI. So that's it, guys. That's the video explaining how the Scoreboard overlay works. I hope this is helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And I know the content is kind of all over the place. Sometimes it's arcade stuff, sometimes it's fighting games, sometimes it's this stuff. It's probably not helping me with the algorithms, but nevertheless, stick around. Tell me what kind of stuff videos you want to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And I'll catch you at Texas Showdown 2026. Thanks for watching.